Hi guys, Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to do your handover video on your Toyota Hi-Ace camper conversion. So it's on a 2002 Hi-Ace. It is an import, which is why you've got this badge on it. It's called, if I just remind myself, the particular model of Hi-Ace that it is, Regius, if that's how you want to say that. Regius, whichever. So that's why you've got the R badge on the front, just in case you're wondering why it wasn't a Toyota badge. It's still a Toyota, it's just because it's the import. So under the bonnet here, we've got your fuses and relays under this little box over here on the left. Brake fluid attached to the servo behind that. The air filter sits inside this big box just down here. Engine oil gets topped up through this cap just here at the top of the engine. And your engine oil dipstick is this yellow topped one just down here. The orange dipstick just above the yellow one there is for your automatic transmission fluid. So if you're wondering what the difference was between those, that's your transmission fluid, that's your engine oil. Power steering fluid sits inside this metal topped reservoir at the front here, and you've got a little gauge on that to tell you if the level is correct. You've got your coolant, so you've got the actual top of the radiator coolant, so that's just from this dial just a little bit just here. It does say here, never open when hot, which is absolutely essential. And you've actually got your coolant overflow bottle, which is this one just here. So this is the one that you actually want to keep on top of, because the actual radiator itself shouldn't really depreciate unless this coolant overflow bottle is empty. So keep your eye on that level there whenever you can, but obviously we've had it serviced, so anything needed to be done to it has been done, levels have been checked, etc. Your washer fluid sits inside this reservoir over here, and your engine battery is just there. What else have we got under here? Not a huge amount, I don't think. This wire coming off of the engine battery here is more than likely going to be to do with like a split charging system. So because you've got the leisure battery in the back of the vehicle, which powers your lights and things like that, when you're driving, the engine battery will be charging up the leisure at the same time. So all the time that you're driving this van, the leisure battery is being charged up. The original chassis plate is just there in the middle, and I can imagine this is all to do with your air conditioning. This little sticker just here. This one is your engine code 3RZFE. Yeah, the paint code will probably be on there as well somewhere. Yeah, C32 that is. But there you go. So that's under the bonnet. Inside the passenger door, there's not normally much to go through. Especially in this case, there's really not much to go through at all. You've got your fuel filling point just here, which by the looks of it, if I just double check, typical for Toyotas to have a little pulley somewhere for that. Where that might be, I don't know. Where's the fuel cap one? Maybe I'm on the wrong side. Or maybe I'm just being stupid. Right, let's just have a look. This is a petrol vehicle, so you need to fill up with petrol. I'll have to find that after the video. Can't find it at the moment, but yeah, so your petrol filler point is just here for the vehicle, and yeah, just normal petrol, nothing special. Nice, reliable, quiet engine, typical Toyota. I will show you how to use all the dashboard bits and pieces when we get onto the other side. So this tank just here is specifically for this vehicle. Now this is a fresh water roll-away tank. So you've got these little bits on top and bottom of the tank, and the reason you've got those is because you've got this thing just here, which basically pops onto these holes here and allows you to literally roll it along behind you, so you can just literally walk it along with you. So the idea of this particular vehicle is that you've got a freshwater point on the outside of the vehicle on the other side, which you'll need to drop the pump into, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute, into this tank here. All right, and that's how you get your fresh water into the vehicle. So that's how you draw water through to the tap. So if you want to draw the water through, you need to make sure that you've got water in this tank and that the pump is sat inside of it outside. But you know, once you've done that a couple of times, it's really simple. A lot of caravans use this system. But there you go. It just means that we didn't, well, whoever did the conversion didn't have to fit an actual onboard tank up underneath, because there was probably very limited space for that. But there you go. So at the back of the vehicle, we've got quite a lot of bits and pieces to go through. So what we've got, this little thing here is a fitting to go onto your awning rail. So the awning rail is the silver piece just here above the door, this bit here. And so this little piece of material here, basically what it does is it slides onto that rail that I've just shown you. I'll just show you. Slides onto it from this side, and the other side here is for putting onto a drive-away awning. So if you did have a drive-away awning that you wanted to use, one, having the rail there is super helpful, because it means you don't have to have one fitted, but also you've already got the conversion kit there for it as well. Right, what we've then got is this thing just here. So what this does, this is the pump that I was talking about that you have to drop into that rollaway tank. So basically all you have to do is lift this little cover up, and then you'll see a fitting that's perfect for this pump. All right, so you plug this in all the way in, and now you can see there, this would drop straight in to that tank that I was saying about. So that's what it looks like when you've got it, you know, ready to be used. So if you imagine if we were going to be using this now, we would have this dropped into that tank that was full of water, and you'd leave that next door to the vehicle for as long as you need to. Once you've done that, you'll then be able to use the tap inside, and it will draw water through. All right, so that's how that pump system works. Really, really simple. But like I said, it might take a little bit of getting used to it at first. But there you go. To be honest, it's as I said, it's just because it's such a small vehicle, such a small conversion, that having an underslung tank would be pretty much impossible. So having the external tank there, it's just as easy, but it just means they didn't have to do that. So that's what those bits are there for. This thing just here, I will also just point out, we will show you on delivery or collection how to actually use it, but this is the piece of equipment for lifting up the roof. So what you've got on the roof here is not your standard push-up roof. You could push it up from the inside if you wanted to, but this is mainly for pulling it down really. But basically you put this piece onto there and then push up, and that will then push the roof all the way up and allow you to stabilize it when it's all the way up. But this is, you know, it's just been made to help you do that basically. You'll find that very, very helpful, I should think. Right, underneath this seat at the back just here, we've got a couple of things, electrical bits and pieces. So you've got your leisure battery, which is this one just here. Next door to that, you've got the trip switches just down there. So that's your 240 volt mains powered trip switches. Gas locker is just inside there. It is a little bit awkward to get to because of where we had to fit it there. There was no other way of putting it really. But that's where the gas locker is, properly metal lined. If you do have access to a hookup cable, you should plug it in just here, and that will then give you access to any 240 volt appliances inside the vehicle. In this particular case, I think it's just going to be the charger and the probably be the plug sockets inside, because the fridge is 12 volt. And I think that's about it really. So that's where you plug the hookup in. So just inside the driver's side, we've got, as per usual with the import Toyota, an absolutely massive spec in here. Now it's an automatic. The automatic system is really simple. You use it from this big handle on the left hand side, a little bit sort of American style, but basically all you do is you watch this little scale in here. So you've got park on the right hand side, which is when you're all the way up on this lever here. So at the moment we're in park. So the next one down, pull it down once and it'll go into reverse, then neutral, then drive. Now to be honest, they're going to be the only ones that you're going to be using generally. You know, very rarely would you be using 2 and L. And just so that you know, 2 and L, basically what they do, if you are going up a really steep hill or something, what they'll do, if you select 2, it will hold you in second gear, and it won't try to change up the gears. If you leave it in drive, if you're going up a super steep hill, if you leave it in normal drive mode, sometimes it will try and change you up the gears when it's not really possible. So the idea behind 2 is that you'll basically select second gear and stay in it until you select drive again. Same sort of thing with L. It's kind of like a long gear, if you like. They're all slightly different, but you know, it's the same sort of thing again. If you were going up a steep hill and you wanted it to you know, have a bit more of a chance of getting up it, you might select one of those 2. But because it's such a small vehicle with a fairly good size engine, I don't think you'll ever need to use either of them anyway. But there you go, just thought I'd run you through what they were. You have also got the overdrive gear on there as well, so when you press that button it will come up on the dash saying overdrive, and that's basically just if you were on the motorway, you know, even in a proper top gear. But again, same kind of thing. It's overdrive is a bit more of an old fashioned thing. You probably find you won't need to use it. That's just basically press the button there if you want to select overdrive, which is like a last final gear basically on the motorway. You've got on the left hand stalk just here, so because it's an import, you've got your indicators and lights on the right hand stalk. All right, so lights on here, indicators from there, and your washers and wipers are on the left hand stalk. Underneath that we have got cruise control, which has been aftermarket fitted, but we've used plenty of these systems before. I'm sure it works absolutely perfectly. And behind the indicator stalk on the right hand side, we've got your tilt. All right, so you can move the steering wheel up and down wherever you want to using that. So on the right hand side, we've got your electric adjusting mirrors. So you can bring the mirrors in and out from using that button just there. You can then select which mirror you want to move by selecting left or right, and then move the mirror around with this little dial here. You've got the electric windows, door locks and window locks from this driver's side. The centre here is a nice kind of high spec Toyota import thing. So you've got rear section here, so cooler and heater, so you can heat and cool the rear of the vehicle. Hazard lights, heated rear window and air conditioning to the front. Aircon, the mode for your kind of like, you know, the fan basically. Fan speed, turning the whole system off, and automatic. Also, if you press this button just here when the screen's on, you can press this button here and it will show you the outside temperature. It will come up saying outside, or press it again to show you the inside temperature again. And the only other thing I will point out on these Toyotas is you've got this little switch down here which says ECT. Now I can't remember exactly what that stands for, but it's going to be something transmission, and all it does basically, if you select power and normal, it basically just it sets the transmission up slightly differently. Some of the slightly older Toyotas Have got like a snow mode and all that sort of stuff as well, which is all again to do with the transmission. But yeah, you probably just leave that as it is, to be completely honest. But there you go. So you've got cup holders that pull out from just there. A huge, great big locker down here with the Toyota Hi-Ace owner's manual. And it is going to annoy me that I can't find that that fuel point. Is that it just there? Yes, it is. Okay, so just down here by the driver's seat, pull this little handle just here. Hopefully that would have opened up. Yep, so that's your fuel filler point just inside there. Alright, so I'll just show you on the inside now. Again, it's going to be a relatively short video because there's not a huge amount to run through. But we start here on the control panel. So this is your control panel and kind of power supply unit, if you like. So what you've got over here on the, oh, and by the way, it's a Zig unit. So Zig is a really good company. They've been making these things for years and years and years now. So on the left hand side here, you've got your 12 volt section. So all you've got is an on and off switch on this side just here, and if it's on, it will come up with a red light just there, and a battery selector switch. So we have to be down on caravan battery because we don't want any power being drawn from the engine battery. So we're down on caravan and we've selected on. So now the lights work, and anything that works on 12 volt will come to life. The next bit is just telling you if your battery voltage is good or not. So we're in normal, which is good. So we've got a green light on there. If you had a mains cable plugged in, you would have to have this switch down where it is now, and it should light up. And that basically just tells you that the hookup is in and working. Next door to that, we've got 6 fuses just here. So these are all to do with you know, the various bits of electric around the vehicle. So you've got fridge, a 240 volt one, which would be for the mains hookup, and various other ones. And you've got this last switch on the right hand side, which is charger and on. So it does say on there, up for towing, down for on site. So if you're plugged in on the mains, you want to have this down, and that will then turn the charger on in order to charge up the leisure battery. So that is your control panel. If you're hooked up on the mains, you will have access to using either of these 2 sockets just here, and also the charger will come on. If you want to use the 2-burner hob up here, you've got a piezo igniter, so that's your ignition. And if you want to light up the actual burners, push in and round to the left whilst pressing down on the piezo igniter, and it lights straight up like that. It's easier with 2 hands, but you see it's nice and easy. So that is how you use the hob. As I said, the fresh water will not come through the tap unless you've got that pump dropped into that tank just there. So at the moment, that pump, the tap there won't do anything. The only other thing is with the water system is that you have got, that's just storage in there, you've got underneath here is your little waste tank. So basically if you start drawing water through the tap just there, any water that goes down that drain hole will come straight down this pipe here and into this tank. So you just have to keep your eye on that, make sure it's not overflowing, and when it starts to get a little bit full, just make sure you empty it out. It's only going to be water that's come down from there, so it's not going to be sort of particularly dirty water. But yeah, just keep your eye on that, make sure it's not overflowing basically. And the last thing to show you is the fridge. So it's a Dometic 12 volt fridge, and it's super simple how it works. I really love these little fridges as well. I think they're so compact. So to use it, you've got this little dial here on the right hand side. Turn it around to the right to wherever you want it to, between minimum and maximum, and that is it. You literally, as long as you've got your power switched on the control panel and you're on caravan battery, this should come to life. And there you go. Turn it all the way back off again, and that is off. So the only thing I will say about the fridge there is that if you don't have access to a hookup cable, you may find that, you know, if you have that on all the time, the fridge, you might find that your leisure battery will start going down to the low light. The only thing you have to do in that situation is try and get a hookup cable in, or start the engine up for a little while to get that split charger working. But you know, that really is it, to be honest. There's not much else to it. So you have got the table that sits here, so you've got this rail here for the table, so you basically just hook it on that side there, and then the leg comes down, nice and easy. I'll just turn off the power now, so we're going to go, so if we went up like that, I'll just show you there, so we've gone up to car battery now, and the lights are still on, so currently all the power, all the 12-volt power is being drawn from the engine battery, which we just, you know, we definitely don't want that. So down on caravan, and that is how you use it. Off here, turns the entire system off, so the 12-volt has now been shut down, so the lights have gone off. When you're getting ready to drive off, make sure that your windows are shut, make sure that any glass bits and pieces are down, make sure the roof is down and in position. That's about it really. Then be ready to drive off. But yeah, so if there's anything you think I've missed out or anything you'd like going over again, just let us know. But otherwise, we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.